Hello, this isn't something I've done before, but I just thought with all the noise that's going on out of Denmark, it was kind of important to share some sort of minor investigative things that people can do to kind of understand what's going on and how robust the narratives are that we're getting from authorities. Because clearly a really fantastic way of checking stuff is to go to like the Flight Radar 24 ADSB exchange and actually grab off ADSB data for when an incident's going to take place, so you can see where the helicopters and planes and so on, as long as you've got transponders, which certainly civilian stuff does. Some countries the police do, sometimes they don't, but then you can see what's gone on, and then you can sort of paint a picture. So if you have a look at Metabunk, that's a very good site. They're actually doing analysis right now of what's been going on in Denmark, and they're finding out a lot of these videos that have been shown by the media as drones are in fact aircraft and can be proven to be aircraft, and it's a shame journalists aren't doing the same. In fact, if journalists went back a year and looked at BBC Verify, you will see they went after the drone industry had been going on for weeks saying, look, these are not drones, and they actually admitted they weren't drones. So then the narratives were there's drones being flown off ships, blah 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 blah, and it was all proven to be nonsense. And this is just a repeat, and this is why I'm doing this video, so people can understand what to do. Now I'm just going to start with something that happened. This has come out from Freedom of Information. This was from Gatwick. Now I've been involved sort of investigating that for 6 years, kind of just doing freedom of information here and there and building up the picture, but some really fantastic stuff has come out about that, and stuff that the public were never supposed to find out about and know about, and it has really been fought. You know, a lot of these requests end up going up to the first tier tribunal. So this is an example of that. So this is the Department for Transport that were managing Gatwick, and they thought this here was not to be seen by the public. It's national security apparently, but it's not. This has been hidden because it's embarrassing. Thankfully this came out because someone else was using freedom of information. They'd asked the Home Office for documents about Gatwick, and they just thought, well, there can't be anything in here that's too important, and they released it. And I then twigged that this was the redaction, and it is actually important. So that here is what was hidden from view, because these are situations reports from the same day. So this is saying this is the Home Office's report, and it's like, that's blanked out, and this is actually their version of it. And this shows us what's been going on in Denmark. This is what goes on all the time with drone incidents when there isn't a suitable counter-drone system in place. So, and it's so obvious, because it's as it falls into night, when it's dark. You know, we're not seeing all these drone panics in the daytime with clear HD video of drones for this very reason. So what was happening at Gatwick Airport, and then this one's a particularly good example. At this point, the RAF have arrived. They've deployed Leonardo Falcon Shield, also known as AUKUS these days. Perfectly, I would say perfectly good, absolutely fantastic piece of counter-drone equipment, especially back then in 2018. So the RAF are there, but the RAF are not running the show. They are under the command structure of the police. So the police are running the show at this point. And as it went into darkness, what happens? Well, all the aircraft that are there, because at this point the airport was operating, because it was tending to operate, and then they were saying, drones are there, and then it would close down, and then it would open up again. So at this point, as it goes through to sunset, goes into as it's going into night, the aircraft turn on their navigation lights, and suddenly it's police officer after police officer, drone, 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 drone. So all the airport will hear is, we've got all these police officers reporting drones. It's like, well, let's close down the runway and we'll divert all the flights. So all the aircraft with their navigation lights on are then diverted to other airports, and suddenly all these lights vanish out of the sky, and then the police officers stop reporting drones. So that quite clearly tells you what's going on. They've just been reporting lights in the sky because that's what they were told to do. Unless you're given equipment, and this is, I think, a hidden lesson learned, because I've heard from within the policing community that after Gatwick, the drone teams were equipped with spotting scopes and thermal scopes and so on. And this isn't a secret anyway, because Langley in the US, they had a drone drama years ago, and the lessons learned document came out. I think that the Daily Mail actually put it out to their credit, and it quite clearly says on there, lessons learned. Your security should have a checklist. You should have a checklist like, am I really seeing a drone? Have I used my scope? Checked it. I've made sure I'm not seeing an airliner. So it said have a checklist. It then said make sure you've got a thermal scope, a spotting scope, that you're running ATAC, which is an Android piece of software, which is for managing teams to respond into complicated situations, just like a drone incursion. And what we could see from the photos in the press of what's been going on in Denmark, the police didn't seem to have that kind of organisation. You had like 5 officers stood next to each other, all looking up at the sky with their eyes. No spotting scopes, no thermal scopes. No one's on a device, checking ATAC and liaising with the other police that were being deployed. So it looked very amateurish. It looked very much like Gatwick did in 2018. So it's kind of understanding that you're sending people out with their eyes to look at the sky. As soon as it gets to darkness, not only are they going to see navigation lights, they're going to see planets, stars, and Starlink. Obviously that's quite new for people to see, so that actually looks like lots of little lights moving about, and they'll be moving about in a way that doesn't look natural, so they're a prime target to get mistaken for a drone. So that's just to give you some background. But this is how you would look yourself if you want to investigate a bit and go, how organised is this airport likely to be? So a good way is Google Street View, and I did that the other day with Guy Mortimer of SUAS News, so you can look that up. It's quite boring because we went to another airport and there wasn't that much public information online to really see what was going on there, but this one does have a few things. So put in the name of the airport, and then what you want to do is go to the filters. Actually, I think I have to do a search here first. Yeah, filters, and then do this year, or you could even do this month if you really want to be more recent. But you want something that's fairly recent, so you're seeing the airport as it is. And I'm going to do one I prepared earlier to speed things along because I've already had a look, so I know I can show some examples. So, typical, isn't it? We've got to sit through an advert. So this is great. So a really good source is Plane Spotters. So they'll do videos on YouTube. There'll often be Facebook pages. It's brilliant if they do photos as well, because photos are high resolution. You can zoom into them. But even here with 1080p, we've got lots of I've looked at this and on loads of videos now, but we can see the structures in the background. Those are lights. We've got you'll see boxes like this that are feeding up. They can be like power and data connections and so on. And on these towers you've got just normal CCTV pan tilt zoom heads. Those are still can be used. If there's a drone incursion, really someone that's on the security could still be panning those around, but it'd be a question. There'll be a question of how capable they are at night, because your proper counter drone EO/IR heads, electro-optical infrared, are made for looking. They can look at a drone a kilometre away and get you a crystal clear picture, and your normal CCTV you might be limited to a few hundred meters to get anything near useful. But we can see here, we're coming past the control tower. Here we've got the pan tilt zoom heads. I've looked at other pictures of the control tower as well. There's just no evidence around here of any counter drone equipment. It tends to stand out, and I'm going to regret saying this, but a lot of the reason it stands out for is it will be in colours made for the military market. So it'll be like in a sand colour, a desert one. I think that's the case at Gatwick, for example. So we don't have anything that looks like the size, the design of any counter drone sensors. They're not the colour. It's very much just antenna. So it already looks like this airport, looking around, because where you would always place the counter drone stuff is somewhere high up, somewhere with a clear view. Now your towers are always one of the best places. So they'll go on or around the tower, or they'll build custom towers similar to the CCTV ones and put them on there. But there isn't any evidence of one. And I would add, the actual behaviour there is not the behaviour you would expect if you have proper counter drone. In fact, if you have proper counter drone system, your EOIR head would get you rock solid, beautiful video that you could give to the press, and you could say, look, we're not pulling the wool over your eyes, we can do it. And in fact, let's have a look while we're here and I can prove that to you. So this is the system that went into Gatwick, and if we move into here in about a minute and a bit, oh wait a minute, this is there when they went into, actually have a look if it is that. They've done trade show bits. Oh no, I thought it was a trade show one. It's not. This is, so we have got the video in this. So here we go. This is what you actually see. So it will actually track the drone. And this is the thing about drones. They're not just, even if they've got no lights on, for the thermal, they're always lit up like a Christmas tree, day or night, because the battery emits heat, the motor emits heat. So you can see here. So that is a small drone 1 kilometre away, and we can actually see it clearly. We can even tell that is a DJI Phantom drone. So if Aalborg had a counter drone system, if Copenhagen had had a counter drone system, the authorities would have already had video like this. They'd already be able to identify it. They'd already be able to give that to the media. And this is what the media need to ask for, and they don't. And this is where it's all breaking down. The very fact they are asking the public for video is alarm bells. That tells you that this entire thing is not going well.